I wonder if I can actually get some information out from... I took a turn around the deck, interested in who else I might find aboard. Captain Ong An Lee was a dashing fellow, with merry eyes, who had run off from his family and joined the merchant navy in Singapore at a young age. The ship was crewed by Lascars, a mix of Indians, Singaporeans, Chinese, and Malay, who all spoke an entirely incomprehensible sailor's dialect, which I found utterly fascinating. I endeavoured to pick up as many words of the odd patois as I could on our journey. Early on the first day, we stopped at the port of Chittagong to take on more passengers. Then the captain blew the whistle loud and long. "Full speed," he declared. "You'll see." Yeah, okay, fog. So yeah, we want to work on our... we dined at the captain's table. He made us toast and then asked Monsieur Fogg outright whether he was an opium trader and his factum. I leapt in to deny this accusation vehemently, committing rather a breach of etiquette in the process. Captain Ong guffawed and commanded our glasses filled once more. "It is a profitable business. A man can make his fortune in opium if," and he addressed the less my master, "he is not squeamish." "Morals are not squeamishness," I replied coldly. "The opium trade profits from the weakness of men." "Yes," Captain Ong agreed. "Some people are weak, and some overcome their weaknesses. I believe in freedom. The people of China are not children, that we need to mind them like an over-anxious parent." Mr. Fogg gave me a quelling look before turning to the captain. "Your business is your own, Captain Ong, as long as you conduct me to Hong Kong in 10 days as agreed." "Thought you were going to Singapore, obviously not." The captain raised a glass. "Fear not, Monsieur Fogg, I have anxious customers awaiting my cargo after all." That's unfortunate, so the game assumes you're just going to take the full route to Hong Kong, which we're not. "Greetings, Captain." "Well, now, passport to Singapore. To Brisbane, possibly." Ugh. How do you deal with nose hair? Burn it, I don't know. I will try out your suggestion. Singapore. Colombo. I hear Colombo is a very advanced tram system. To Machu Picchu. Oh. Maybe we should have gone all the way to Hong Kong. I awoke thinking of croissant. Or croissant. Not just any croissant, my friend, but the croissant made on the corner of the street where I grew up. Delicately crisp on the outside, yielding within. I could smell them, almost feel the texture of the pastry on my tongue. I was so lost in contemplation that I was 3 minutes late to attend my master's shave. Zut alors! Well, more strenuous than I anticipated. Yes! Yeah, I know. That's why we haven't gone straight to Hong Kong, Monsieur Fogg. The Lascars who made up the crew seemed to find me an object of great curiosity. I found them curious in return. My attempts to learn a few words of their cobbled-together tongue were met with howls of good-natured laughter. A young Malay shyly asked me what Paris was like. "It is beautiful," I said cautiously. "The Seine glitters like a snake. The theatres spill light and colour onto the streets. The cafes are full of men and women debating and drinking endless cups of coffee. There are beautiful women and beggars all on the same street." She looked at me curiously. I took a deep breath, dissatisfied with my answer. Never mind my thoughts. Perhaps you will see it yourself one day." She nodded, accepting my answer. I doubted she would ever set foot in the city of my birth. Oh, wait. What? No, wait! Publishing sensation Noah Williamson has Voyage d'amour. Ah. Right. Where am I? Oh, I'm heading down to Manila. If there's a route from Singapore to Manila, that will kind of cut off a lot of our journey, I think. That's a big if. Today we stopped at Singapore on the southernmost tip of the Malay Peninsula. Singapore had been British for many decades, and from the harbour it seemed almost as if some little town in Kent or Surrey had been shipped piece by piece and reconstructed on this far shore. We thanked the captain as we disembarked. He nodded once, but was, I felt, happy to see the back of us. I wonder if we can get another route out of this. Safety harness, we can sell it. Warm climate. We will grab that, actually. Brisbane, Auckland, Vladivostok, which we're not going to. That could be useful for negotiations, I think. Right. Explore. We're going to have to explore, which may mean we can no longer get to the market. Singapore was a British colonial port, peopled largely by Chinese, Malays, and Indians, and fueled by rubber exports and opium wealth pouring into the new banks. I walked along the harbour front and spied brightly painted airships and well-rigged boats headed for distant ports. I inquired about vessels headed for Manila in the Spanish Philippines, and one of the Malay sailors pointed me in the direction of a little steam yacht. She goes to Manila, he said, and then cocked his head. Are you a Spaniard? I am French, monsieur. Truly, I was growing tired of being so thoroughly misidentified. The sailor shrugged. Heard that there's cholera in Manila. If you're not a Spaniard and no business there, maybe you should avoid it. Then again, you rich people do whatever you want, so why am I bothering? I thank you for the warning, I said politely, not wanting to insist on my lack of wealth to a man wearing rather rough clothes upon a body bent with labour. The sailor jerked a nod and went back to his companions, leaving me to contemplate his advice upon the Singaporean dock. Thing is, that might mean it's quarantined. Oh, I can't remember what happened, but I think we need to take it, just to catch it back up with myself. It's the thing. Can I go to the market? No. So if I try this route... That departs tomorrow at 10. Heard this cholera in Manila. He could be incorrect. I think we have to try anyway. I'm sure that would do well for Monsieur Fogg's condition. We took a room and settled in, and I attended to Monsieur Fogg. Yes, strengthened slightly. Right, so we'll wait and go to the market. I don't want to click that. Well, we probably should. We probably could. So we are going to head to Manila. It's the only place we can actually go to at the moment. We could have admittedly headed down to Brisbane, but that just means we've got a long route across the southern Pacific. Go to the market. So nothing there. We could actually sell this, couldn't we? I'll hold on to the safety harness. I think it'll probably be useful to do so. I probably don't need all of this stuff, but I will. Holding on to that penny dreadful. Some of those you do to keep like little kind of trophies almost. We'll hide the extra space, I think. Panama hat, hooray! Yeah. So there was Batavia, which is that jewel thief. We took passage on a little steam yacht with a cargo hold full of Chinese silk parasols, which the captain assured me would fetch an exorbitant price in Manila. Are the ladies there so shy of the sun? I asked in Spanish. These pretty moneymakers are only passing through Manila. Captain Amparo, a dark-eyed Filipina of middle years, was unable to keep the glee from her voice. I will sell them to a trader for shipment to Acapulco, where the Mexican ladies will pay all their pin money for a month for just one gaudy parasol. Will you keep one for yourself? I could not resist asking. Me? She looked astonished. What use would I have for such a frippery? I regarded her sensible attire and short hair. I admire your practicality. Captain Amparo laughed companionably. That is a skill I have always possessed. I slept well that night aboard the steam yacht, secure in the knowledge that it was being steered by the captain's steady hands. Converse. Is there anything good out of Manila? Greetings, Captain Amparo. Greetings, Passepartout. Manila to Honolulu. We have timetable of routes. Did you know you can buy revolvers in Honolulu? Extremely valuable in Panama City. And then Honolulu to Acapulco? Hardly seems important. Acapulco to Havana? Isn't Havana, Acapulco to, I don't know, Dakar? I lost track of what I was asking there. Yeah, all I've had, that's the thing, is you're just confirming stuff you already know. We had some ill winds in the morning, but Captain Amparo kept the crew calm and focused, shouting orders at them in a language I did not know, Tagalog, perhaps, as it was widely spoken in the Philippines. We were merely bobbed about a little, until the weather settled, but the worst injury was some seawater clogging my shoes. New shoes. We will not be delayed, Captain Amparo assured me, perhaps mistaking the cause of my obvious melancholy. My master will be pleased, I said, though I could not help cast another mournful look at my ruined shoes. Captains caught the direction of my gaze and looked confounded. It's like you are an utter dandy. Do you really care so much for an appearance? I suppose not, I said, after thinking on it for a moment or two. I've been taught to care by society, but as for myself, I am indifferent. Ooh. I'm already in there. That probably means there's a quarantine. Oh dear. Captain Amparo had taken to regarding me as though I were the oddest creature to ever take passage aboard her vessel, and she still looked thunderstruck when we reached our destination. Good luck in Manila, she said, shaking my hand. They will hardly know what to make of you. Yes. Right. Anything to sell? Anything to buy? Ooh, we get a frequent flyer one. That'll be useful. Houston. We will grab that, I think. You can go to New Orleans. We will grab that, I think. Depart. We're going to head to... No, I don't want to go... I want to go to... Ooh, can I go all the way to... No, I don't want to go to Acapulco. I don't think. Certainly Honolulu. Okay. Right, so we're going to have to wait anyway. Oh, this is what happened before, wasn't it? I can't sell anything particularly useful. I'm not selling that. But we have to wait. Or we could go to the bank, but I'd rather not. But we have learned of a few new routes. Oh, I'm already off on an airship. I must have managed to negotiate it down. We arrived at the Spanish-governed capital of Manila at a most inopportune time. The city had recently suffered the depredations of a major typhoon, and the efforts at rebuilding had been stalled by an outbreak of the dreaded cholera morbus. It originated with sailors of the steamer Oyolas from the nearby town of Zamboanga. That was the local rumour in any case. Infected establishments were burned daily by the sanitary board, with our hotel one of the casualties. We were relocated near to the telephone exchange, taking the mechanical horse-pulled tram. Concerned with the possibility of infection, I ensured that Monsieur Fogg drank only boiled water, as recommended by Jon Snow's article in the Medical Times and Gazette, going to the lengths of preventing him from eating any uncooked foods for fear of contamination. From our window I could see carts piled high with the dead being taken to the mountain to be burned, rather than interned in a churchyard, which put me in a morbid frame of mind. I went to the local telegraph office and sent a message. Did I? To a dear friend in Paris. And just a friend. Mes amis. A childhood companion whose quick smile and cheerful insults I yearned for in these morbid circumstances. I sent a philosophical tract musing on love, death, and meaning in a stuttering Morse code. I made my way back to Monsieur Fogg under the fragrant coconut oil lamps, eager to part from the city riven by sickness and death. Oh, how much does this? I want to turn it to Honolulu. 2 days. Oh dear. Fall into Acapulco, we just can't afford. Yeah. Market? Yeah, we can't sell anything. We can't make enough to do anything, so we're just waiting. Okay, so we're just going to stay in the hotel then. We'll pass the night here. With the last light of the evening, I afforded my master every service. So we can make a little bit of money by doing a job, or I can just explore. Do a bit of money. Get a bit of money if we can. Okay. We will wait a bit more. Oh, we can depart. Oh, that's if we want to go to Yokohama. Now, we could actually go up to Yokohama and then go across to San Francisco. That might be cheaper. Potentially. Or we could wait, how long is it? Another day, and go to Honolulu. Which I think probably makes a bit more sense. So we will... Yeah, so there's no point waiting to go in the back. Part of me wants to head off now. Be working, especially with the fact this is a straight route. Yeah, let's go up to Yokohama. We're gonna have to spend that much money. We'll do it. Yeah, so we're heading back. We're heading onwards. So we've kind of crossed the path. I probably shouldn't have waited as long. I should have gone yesterday. Oh well. The Sugawara was an imperial Japanese steamship designed by French engineers and crewed by naval conscripts drawn from all 4 occupations. Captain Hirosui bowed slightly in greeting, and I gave her a bow of the same depth. Welcome aboard, she told us, as the crew raced about readying the ship for departure. With God's grace, we will have a swift journey. Careful fog. Because we don't need to converse about Yokohama, we know where we're going. I encountered Captain Hirosue on deck in the morning and noticed that she wore a katana in a beautifully worked sheath. "That is a beautiful weapon," I said reverently, having been swept away by the recent Parisian fashion for Japonisme. Captain Hirosue ducked her head a little. "It is not a military issue gunto," she admitted. "It has personal value to me." I sensed she did not wish to speak further, and did not press her. Ah well, there will be time enough to get to know the captain better on our journey to Yokohama. I don't think we're going to beat my previous one, but I think we're going to still beat the 80 days, he says, hopefully. In the morning, I saw Captain Hirosue praying at the little Protestant chapel beside the galley. "What do you pray for, Captain?" I asked. "I pray for the health and long life of Emperor Meiji," she said, so fervently that the commonplace words rang with truth. He looks to the west, and thus towards progress. I considered her words. "And are you a product of this progress?" Her hand closed over the hilt of her katana. 5 years ago, it was illegal for a peasant or a woman to wear a sword. Now Emperor Meiji has given me a warship. Yet you still wear a samurai's katana, I pointed out. A look of sadness crossed Captain Hirosue's face. It was my grandfather's. The men of my family are all samurai. Is that why you joined the navy? No. My father is still loyal to his daimyo and fights against the emperor. You fight against your own family? I whispered. I requested a foreign posting so I would not be sent to battle the rebels, but if my emperor sends me, I must go. Will you be able to do it? I am an officer of the Imperial Japanese Navy, she said softly, but I hope, for his sake, that my father and his daimyo will bow to the emperor soon. An officer came to fetch Captain Hirosue away for some pressing duty, and I was left with my whirling thoughts. Yokohama harbour was thronged with steamships flying foreign flags, Dutch, French, British, American, even a few Russian ones. The Sugawara was a regal sight as she pulled up to the docks. I hope you reconcile with your family, Captain, I said as we disembarked. Captain Hirosue only smiled and bowed, perhaps a little more deeply than when we had boarded. This journey is proving more tiring than I expected. Right, plan. We want to head to... Oh boy! We're not... Oh dear. Slight problem. I don't think we've got the money for this, have we? Oh, I can't really just buy stuff. Although I'd like to. Right, yeah, we will buy that actually. We will now go to the bank once it opens. Monsieur Fogg looked up from his ledger. We are due a visit to the bank, I think, Passepartout. I regarded the bank as we entered. It was a small affair, but efficiently looked after, and we were quickly seen to. You wish to withdraw funds, we were told. I warn you, it may take some time. Right, so we need to get 3,000, so that would give us enough, but it wouldn't give us much more. I think we'll go for the full... We'll wait a week. I will have to communicate with London first. Of course, he apologised. I should have a reply in 5 working days. We need a lot of money just to cover the rest of it. So we're going to explore. So it's going to be 7 days. It was hard to believe that Yokohama had only relatively recently opened to foreigners. There was an entire foreigners district not far from the waterfront where it was as common to hear Chinese or Russian as Japanese. There was a melding of cultures and clothing styles. Russians arrayed in their rich colours, hoop-skirted British ladies lately of Bengal or Singapore, Americans who had adopted the coat-like haori over their shirts and trousers. I noticed a Japanese man watching the scene with a look of intense concentration and scribbling in a notebook. "What are you doing?" He jumped and left a smear of ink on the paper. He looked up, clearly irritated. "Do you mind?" he said, his accent an unholy mix of Dutch, French, and English. "I am making a drawing for a woodcut." He was clearly a temperamental sort, so I left him to his work with a polite smile. I do not think he liked foreigners from his drawing of them.